George Geller. Well, 46 years ago, this October, I came into town to buy the Phoenix Emporium building. And it was an auction. And there was only three bidders. One, a small group of businessmen. Number two was Sam Kaplan and Dr. Taylor. And the third was myself. So Sam is standing there kicking Dr. Taylor. Bid one more time, he's going to drop out. And I'm the only bidder against him for 6 or 8 times. And Sam must have known something, because if Dr. Taylor bid one more time, the Phoenix Emporium was not going to be there, because I was out of money. The auctioneer said, well, where's your deposit at? I said, well, I got it right in my pocket. He said, $10,000. So I'm counting out $10,000 worth of cash, and I come up with $9,999, a dollar short. So the auctioneer, Bruce Levine, and I were friends from Cooper Auctions. And Bruce says, I'll loan you the dollar, George. So it's actually true that Sam kicking Dr. Taylor, he's going to go out, he's going to go out. And the Phoenix finally survived that one. But 46 years in town, it's sad to see the building go. It sat there from probably around 1840 to the end, around the beginning of the trains coming into town, greeting everybody, to the end of the trains. The beautiful wrought iron railings on the Federal building. It's 2 buildings there. The Federal building is the brick part, and the front of the building was built after the Civil War over top of the river. I just can't believe that the county took it down. But they did what they must do, and that's the end of my story of Ellicott City for the Phoenix for me. But I was there till 2000, in business from 78 to 2020, 2012?
2001.
2002, around 2002, and Mark Hemis took over the business, and I remained the building owner till the very end, when the county pushed both of us out on the street. So that's my story. I'll let Vickie tell the rest of it.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about the Phoenix. In 1980, I took a job at Cocoa Lane. I didn't know very much about Main Street, and I had never been in the Phoenix. In 1985, some of my co-workers took me out for a birthday celebration, and the last stop was the Phoenix. The next morning, I was standing outside in the doorway at Cocoa Lane, and a gentleman walked up in shorts, a Hawaiian shirt, carrying a briefcase, and he said, "We share a birthday." Well, we don't. We're 2 days apart, and that's how I met George Geller. I went to work at the Phoenix in 1986, and we were married in 1988. And yes, George worked that morning. The Phoenix was busy all the time. We had ladies who lunched. We had tourists fighting for window tables. We had fans of the 100 imported beers that we had, dinner regulars, happy hour regulars. It was just a great place to gather. The Phoenix was open every day. It doesn't matter if it was a holiday or if it snowed. If it was a snow day, George and I would get up early, shovel ourselves out, and get down to the Phoenix. And we would start prepping and setting up, and the phone would ring. It would be an employee who said, "I can't get out of my driveway, I can't come to work." Well, no problem. George had an old Army Jeep that he had purchased at auction, and it went through anything. So I would say, get your uniform on, George would be there shortly. And no employee ever called out on a snow day twice because they didn't want to go through again. We had lots of parties at the Phoenix, open every holiday. We had anniversary parties, St. Patrick's Day parties, anniversary, Christmas, New Year's Eve, and we had Jimmy Buffett parties, and they were epic. So successful that even Merriweather Post wanted in on our parties. We had a great relationship with the other restaurant owners in town. Although there was competition, it really didn't affect any of us. We all worked together, and each business had its own customer and vibes. And we would drink and eat in each other's establishments. It was a very nice relationship. One of the things that we did to help each other, the health department would do inspections in town, all of the restaurants and bars on the same day, and they would be a surprise inspection. So whatever restaurant was the first to get an inspection would immediately go to the phone and call the next restaurant down the street. And that would carry on until everyone in town knew that the health inspector was in town. So it was not really a big surprise.
No, it wasn't, thanks.
Yeah.
A surprise for the first person.
Yeah, it was like the first person was always surprised. On November 9th, 1999, a terrible 6-alarm fire tore through Lower Main Street. Luckily, the Phoenix was not affected, but for the next several days, we had families and loved ones of the people who had been affected by the fire calling the Phoenix every day to get information and news about their family members. Every electric outlet in the Phoenix had a cell phone charging on it. People who were unable to get into their apartments. And on 9/11, the phone started ringing early. People wanted to know if we would open early and turn the TVs on, and we did. People came and went all day long. The town just wanted to be together. I just have a couple things left to say. George loved those buildings. He knew every part of those buildings. He lived upstairs in the early years, and the loss of the buildings is a big loss to both of us. I guess in closing, I'd like to mention some of our neighbors over the years. Mr. Ray Dorn at Ray's Villa Market, Sally Tennant at Discoveries, Grinders, Michael Lentz at Riverside Roastery, Gretchen Shuey at Bead Hollow, the gorgeous ladies of Hair Garage, and Len and Sherry at Great Pains. For a very long time, Lower Main Street was the heart of town. And finally, I want to acknowledge some of the owners, residents, and merchants on the corner of Main Street and Maryland Avenue. They include Bernard Fort, cabinet maker and undertaker, John U. O'Brien, who lived upstairs and operated O'Brien's Saloon, Walter Fissel, who owned Fissel's Confectionery with his brother Ferdinand, and his daughter Hattie and granddaughters Connie and Monty lived upstairs. The Balmas brothers, John, Paul, and George, who operated Balmas Brothers Maryland Restaurant, the Maryland Inn owners, which include Boyd and Patty Foster and her parents, Woodrow and Genevieve Givens, and Mark Hemis. And many thanks to all of the friends, customers that we made over the years and that made the Phoenix more than just a saloon. The Phoenix lives now at the top of Main Street, at the top of the hill, but these 4 great buildings are now just a memory. Thanks for the memories.